They were a team that nobody in the entire League community thought could ever come to fruition. These players hold a legendary status in the North American professional scene, and were once distinguished as some of the best players in the region. Even though they have all since retired and confined themselves to being entertainers on Twitch, they gave it one last hurrah in the professional world. They banded together and formed a dream team to compete in the last Challenger Series ever under the Echo Fox organization. However, their performance was abysmal, and they did not win a single best-of-3 series in their entire tenure. What was the story and the purpose behind the creation of this team? And why did the team grossly underperform in the Challenger scene? My name is Kudo, and today we learn the true story of the Delta Fox experiment. It was June 2nd, 2017. One day prior, Riot announced the franchising of the North American LCS. The community was still reacting to the news, talking about the implications of the change and what organizations would make it in. However, on the 2nd, another community-shaking announcement would be dropped by the Echo Fox organization. Echo Fox announced the acquisition of a new roster for their Challenger Series team, Delta Fox. With it, 5 individuals of legendary status in the professional scene were signed to compete for the 2017 NA Challenger Series Summer Split. Dyrus, formerly of Team Solo Mid, Scarra and Imaqtpie, formerly of Team Dignitas, Voyboy, formerly of Team Curse, and Shiphtur, formerly of Team Coast and Team Dignitas, would make up this roster of all-stars. Mark Z would be the head analyst for the team. It was regarded as one of the boldest roster signings ever, and it took the community by storm. Everyone thought these players would never return to pro play. After all, they already had lengthy tenures that spanned from the beginning of the entire scene. Also, all of them now have successful live streaming careers. They could have easily remained relevant in the community and still be financially stable while playing League of Legends. Everyone thought that this was a publicity stunt by the Echo Fox organization. However, CEO Jace Hall and Rick Fox assured the public that this team was meant to be competitive and win.
Are you expecting to win games? Are you expecting to win Challenger? Or is it perhaps to boost more engagement with the Echo Fox brand? What is the game plan here?
Well, I mean, look, as a CEO, from my perspective, the end goal always is to try to win. That, I mean, if you're competing, this is not a joke. Challenger Series to me is not something that isn't taken seriously or something. And maybe that's just the competitive gamer in me, but when I sit down to play a game against somebody else, I'm legitimately trying to win. Unless I'm stating up front, I'm here to teach. But other than that, no. So the first and foremost goal is to win.
When the community analyzed Delta Fox's roster and predicted their standings in the NACS, there was quite the discussion. It was the fact that 3/5 of Delta Fox were mid laners, specifically Shiphtur, Voyboy, and Scarra. It was obvious that Dyrus was going to be in the top lane and Imaqtpie be the AD carry. However, it would mean that 2/3 of the mid laners would be in an autofill position. The team decided on Scarra in the jungle, Voyboy at mid, and Shiphtur on support. It was also unclear in the beginning how much practice Delta Fox team members would be able to get. After all, each player would continue with their regular stream schedules. This meant that actual practice and scrim blocks would be difficult to plan. There was one public scrim against the main Echo Fox roster, but it was not a serious one, especially when Delta Fox's band spelled pizza. They proceeded to lose that series 2-0. Even with these doubts, the community was still hyped to see Delta Fox and how they would do in the Challenger scene. Delta Fox's first impression would be against the predicted best team in the NACS, United. Since Riot did not cast all the games of the Challenger series and release the VODs for them, I will be using Scarra's edited highlights for each analysis, edited by Fedmeister. Game 1 was a complete stomp. The Korean mid laner GBM exerted pressure all over the map. Not only did he win his lane against Voyboy, but he contributed to multiple successful ganks in the bot lane. United proceeded to snowball the early game leads and outright massacre Delta Fox.
The one thing we can do right now is ward and instead of a trap.
Yeah. Like, honestly,
holy moly.
We just gotta stop the blading now. I'd say just like think about our strategy for next game and just stall this game as long as possible.
Alright, I think we might be doomed here.
In Game 2, Delta Fox was able to create favorable skirmishes in the laning phase. The fights went in their favor and they were able to generate a lead and build momentum for the middle and late game. However, in true Dignitas fashion, Delta Fox threw at the Baron pit.
can we do this?
Can we left us? Can we left us?
Coming.
Shit. Fuck. I need a ward here next time. They won't be there. They won't be there. Only
Lad's here.
Can we just
Lad's on the left side.
Look at
Look left side. I'm ulting off lab.
Can we look for
That's
Yeah,
a good
look
wall.
back, look back, look back, look back.
Let's link the fight.
Hold on, hold on.
Back off. You can't win
Fight,
that.
fight,
You
fight,
can't
fight.
win that. Run.
Yeah. I missed ulti.
I thought we could all go on Kate there. Sorry.
Yeah, I would have turned on Kate immediately. I didn't realize you were gone though. But...
Delta Fox lost their first series in the NACS, however it went better than expected for the players.
I think that's game.
Well, that was actually
pretty good though.
It's not that bad,
Yeah.
honestly.
definitely.
Honestly,
could've won.
considering how badly I got cooked early game, that was pretty good.
I
feel
think like we just have to find our identity because that second game went a lot fucking better than the first. That was pretty good though overall. I don't know. I mean, I was expecting it to just be 2 complete stomps, so for us to have like a somewhat competitive game, that's pretty good.
Their second series against CLG Academy was an even worse showing. Everyone had a terrible performance both individually and as a team. Scarra was specifically targeted by Omar God, who was able to successfully invade him. Scarra also had a horrible first gank.
I'm looking for a mid right now. Look,
I don't have it yet for 2 spellcasts. I'm looking.
Karma's trying to move up.
Careful,
Yeah,
careful. I'm
Karma's
out,
trying
I'm
to
out,
get
I'm out. Keep flash.
I'm moving on this game.
Okay. I can't get
Fuck,
anything.
you got me.
Oh.
It was an abysmal first week for Delta Fox, and it would only get worse for week 2. Delta Fox faced Tempo Storm to open up week 2. Once again, it was a disastrous series. Through the 2 games, all players once again misplayed the laning phase with bad engagements and terrible macro-oriented play, which ultimately led Tempo Storm to snowball.
He's
I can
fucking.
run.
I'll shield.
Yeah,
Run.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, go for quad.
Never mind, he's too
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
But I don't know how he got out of my W range.
Double TP. That's fine.
Yeah.
Ouch.
1 for 3.
At the end of the series, the team addressed the lack of success in practices.
Legit though, it's up to you guys, but I would really like to at least scrim at like 1 block a week at the very least, because I feel like we'll do super good if we just practice.
However, Dyrus' plea to practice more never came to fruition. At this point, the community gave up all hope for Delta Fox. All the hype that was surrounding the team immediately turned into negativity and toxicity towards each player about their performances. Similar criticisms were expressed throughout the community, such as Dyrus feeds too much. Scarra is a horrible jungler and shouldn't be in that position. Voyboy is the weakest link and shouldn't be mid. Imaqtpie positions terribly and gets caught all the time. And Shiphtur is wasting his potential by being QtPie's support and not at mid. When it also became clear that Delta Fox didn't practice, everyone lost respect for the team. By the end of the season, the community wanted Delta Fox to play non-serious and troll. And when that did not happen, the community flamed them for daring to continue trying to win games. For the rest of the Challenger series, Delta Fox continued to underperform. The root of these losses began in the early game. Either Delta Fox would lose lane off of misplays, or Delta Fox attempted something aggressive that would immediately backfire thanks to their poor macro.
Delta Fox on the back swing, still have lane control, they can still fight with Mountain Drake, and the question is now a smite fight between Scarra and Scarra.
You gotta be careful though, Dyrus is kind of on the opposite side of this fight, and a good taunt forward there by Chris will land on the Shiphtur. He drops extremely low, the support to Leah barely gets out of life, but now they turn focus on to Scarra. Explosive cast gonna split up the fight a little bit. Dyrus on the backside trying to take down Bayano, who was knocked into him, but Scarra on the front line has fallen down. Shiphtur with no HP in the middle of nowhere will wind up going down to another shuriken from Fabian. Big God's Jackals, they take the fight.
If Delta Fox ended the laning phase relatively even, then poor macro-oriented plays would doom the team in various ways. The majority of these throws committed by Delta Fox would be during the late game teamfights. Teams would have superior teamfight communication and shot calling, allowing them to completely outplay Delta Fox.
Scarra's in the Baron pit, so the rest of Tempo Storm is here. Where's QtPie? QtPie's on the bottom side of the map. Delta Fox are in a 3v4 situation. They basically leashed the Baron at this point. The Voyboy's gonna pick up a kill on Tom Kent, but Wiggly gets the Baron for themselves. Now Tempo Storm are trying to fight Delta Fox. Voyboy pretty much all by himself now that Scarra's gone down for a double kill. QtPie's still split pushing in the bottom lane. He's picked up a kill on the inhibitor, but Delta Fox have lost more than half their team.
And Delta Fox opts into a split push situation despite
Got
the
the
superior
calling,
team
trying
fight.
to trade on the Quas. Quas goes in, QtPie taken low. QtPie gets killed! Quas is TPing in, there's one tower left alive. It's all up to Voyboy and Shiphtur. Can they defend? The Tempered Fate's already been used. Shiphtur goes down. Voyboy is surely going to fall, but the Nexus falls first. And with that Baron call, with the split push, Delta Fox lose the series.
In the most tragic fashion available.
At the end of the 2017 Challenger Series, Delta Fox finished in last place with 0 wins and 10 series losses. Despite the objectively horrible record, Rick Fox had a unique way to spin the standings on Beyond the Rift.
Rick Fox, what'd you see in us?
Look, we finished 6th, you said? Right?
6th. Yeah.
You know that there has not been an Echo Fox League team in any category that's finished higher than 7th until you guys finished 6th.
I didn't even know that. Well, round of applause to us. Good shit, everyone.
So I'm going to say we're indebted to you, and thank you very much for raising the level of the entire organization when it comes to League of Legends. So you guys are the reigning team when it comes to success for us. So if I was you guys, I'd be calling for renegotiation, contract extensions, the works.
On August 31st, all Delta Fox contracts expired. None of the players returned to the competitive scene ever since. Occasionally, the team reunited and broadcast their games. They were part of the Tyler 1 Championship Series but lost to MLGB. In the community's eyes, the Delta Fox experiment was a complete failure. The publicity was there, but the fanbase ended up disappointed with how Delta Fox ended up in the standings. So, was Delta Fox a genuine failure? Why didn't the team perform to the same magnitude of the hype it obtained? Thanks to vlogs posted by the players and interviews conducted about Delta Fox, we can piece together the true story of the team. We start right back to the beginning. Delta Fox was actually created at the last minute. The players were in the talks about joining an all-star roster for months but thought nothing of it.
It was like a really last minute thing, like super last minute thing, something where we had been talking about it like on and off for like months, and I was just like, it's not gonna happen. And I didn't know it happened. It would actually happen to like 2 weeks before or 1 week before. So like I was kind of caught surprised by the fact that it was happening in the first place, and it was just like, okay, we're running with this roster. It's like, all right, cool. Like so this is the roster we're going with.
With the creation of Delta Fox, it came with the assumption that they wouldn't put hours of practice like normal challenger teams would. After all the players live stream full-time already. Giving up stream time to scrim wouldn't make any sense, so they utilized solo queue as their main source of practice. Even when some players wanted to sacrifice that time, it just wasn't going to happen considering the importance of streaming.
I think streaming, it's difficult to work with this schedule. Like just straight up, like we can do it at like this time slot, and as we go in, like the original idea was that we weren't gonna stream that much. Like coming in, everyone knew it. Everyone has their own stuff, whether it's shows or like just different stream hours. Like everyone was comfortable that we're not gonna stream a lot.
When the roster was finalized, there was an issue regarding who was going where. They knew 2 people were going to end up autofilling. The following is the rationale for the lane positions. It was obvious for Imaqtpie and Dyrus, as they were best in the positions that they mained throughout their professional careers. As for the rest, Voyboy was selected for the mid lane. The team concluded that Voyboy excelled the most in carry-oriented positions where he can dish out tons of damage. He would not be good whatsoever in supporting roles. Shiphtur then took the position of support. Despite him being arguably the best mid laner out of the 3, he was capable of building synergy with Imaqtpie as he duoed with him on stream. The team thought that Shiphtur would be the best at enabling Qtpie's fullest potential. That left Scarra in the jungle. He was okay with that role because he has been off-rolling jungle for quite a bit of time, and he was down to dedicate tons of hours to learn the position.
Danny has to learn a new role. I've been off-rolling jungle for a while, but I have to learn how, like, actually seriously learn how to do it. Like, not just like, I'll just do like get a game of Lee Sin every other game, and it's funny, and if I go off, and if not, I don't. I actually have to think about what I'm doing, and it's a lot different. In terms of like the general future, like I want to keep working with the people I'm working with to try to get better. One of them is Grigney, the Delta Fox jungler. He's helping me out a lot. I got some advice from Ethug as well, a challenger jungler, and so I am trying my hardest to get better at the role. I really believe that like eventually this team will be really good.
Despite the lack of practice and the conveying of trolling in public, the team was still very serious and competitive throughout the Challenger games.
I really want to win. Like, we're all competitors at heart, and losing sucks. Like, losing isn't that fun. Like, we were all pros at one point, and we all know like that burning like sensation that just like, man, losing like really like leaves a mark. And we really do want to win, but at the same time, like we're also like all streamers and stuff.
This is why they didn't resort to trolling when they were mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. They were still determined to at least win one series and take games off of each team. In fact, Delta Fox was so close to upsetting Tempo Storm in the last series if it wasn't for a bad team fight. Something mentioned in the vlogs of the players was the amount of toxicity they felt again.
The biggest thing I didn't realize is actually all the flame, actually. It really takes me back because I made flame now more than when I underperformed on Dignitas when I was the mid laner. And it's not even based on concrete games. They see the end scoreboard and they're just this guy sucks. I'm just holy shit, dude. It actually sucks. It's really bad. Cause I've had this problem since I stopped playing pro, and it makes you really remember why social media is a hard thing to handle if you losing games and people hate you. So luckily I'm a little bit more mentally strong than I was before, and so it doesn't have me down that much, but it is just a kind of a bummer, man. To wake up and the first thing I see on my Twitter is people just flaming me, and I'm just okay, you know what? I'm gonna go back to sleep. I'll see you guys later.
Even after the season, Rick Fox didn't consider Delta Fox a failure. He explains his reasoning in an episode of Beyond the Rift.
I gotta be honest, I read some of those Reddit threads. I was feeling kind of bad. I was like, oh man, these guys really think this stuff about me. Hearing this from you though,
no.
You don't agree with that?
For 1 second, I'm telling you, not for 1 second did we waver in what it was we came together to do from our side. And I mean, you guys obviously know how to play this game and have played it at a high level and are capable of getting back to whatever level you choose, if not surpassing what you've done in the past. And it's obviously a function of time, commitment, and effort. You guys are splitting multiple responsibilities in your own personal lives, coming together at in a short amount of time to actually compete against guys that are focusing 24 hours of their day in preparation leading up to the Challenger Series was really, putting you guys up against start if you're running and it's a short 5 week sprint, but it's like running the 100-yard dash and everyone else is at the 80-yard line ready to, with 20 yards left to run, and you guys are just coming out of the gates. So, that I don't think that was fair in any way to be judged based on when you guys actually came together and decided to really figure out what you guys would be as a group and a unit together. So I commend you for even, attempting to figure out what you could do and then competing, man. You guys are champions, man, and I appreciate it immensely.
Overall, there are two conclusions that can be drawn from Delta Fox. First, all the players were genuine in their attempts to get better as a team. There was a serious effort by the roster to improve under the parameters they were restricted to. This was apparent by Scarra's efforts to improve his jungling. It was just unfortunate that the limited team practices never came to fruition and that the roster was formed on a last-minute basis. You can commend the players for trying their hardest and taking the team as seriously as they could while not being distracted from their full-time stream schedules. However, Delta Fox was not set up to win. One can conclude that the Echo Fox organization formed this team out of sheer publicity. You may take the words of Rick Fox and Jace Hall as is, but there is sufficient evidence that this roster was a publicity stunt rather than a competitive team. Remember, the franchising of the NACS was coming next split. Therefore, the entirety of the Challenger Series did not matter. There was zero incentive to win. So instead of focusing on winning, Echo Fox signed a roster with a combined social outreach of 7.8 million people. Not only did this increase the awareness of the Echo Fox brand, it also indirectly increased the viewership and awareness of the entire Challenger Series. In the eyes of everyone involved in the Delta Fox experiment, it was a true success. It was a success in the organization's eyes as it saw an unprecedented amount of social outreach acquired. For the players, it was a positive experience. It temporarily reignited their competitive flame to win and compete at the highest level, something they haven't felt since they've retired. When you look beyond the memes of Delta Fox, you see 5 retired pros having one last hurrah in the competitive scene and having a hell of a time doing so despite the record. My name is Kudo, and thank you for watching the true story of the Delta Fox experiment.
I think Cass is fine. The big problem is we just need to be doing well in our lanes. But
yeah.
I mean that just comes from practicing. I think the main problem right now is we're just dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're